Hey, it's Barb and Gabby again, and today we're out checking the gifting stumps. We've been to the one down by the creek. Nothing has changed there. It's all still exactly as I left it. Nothing has touched the grapes. We went to the apology stump, same thing. Everything is just the way I left it. Nothing's been moved. And now we're up at the old gifting stump, and things are a little different here. The rocks have been moved a little bit, kind of moved into a triangular shape. The one magnet is turned up here. I looked inside the jar of chocolate topping, and it's still just my finger mark in there. But the beads, they were coiled up right here, have been kind of strung out here, laid out over the wood, and there's even a piece of it right here that's been broken off. So other than that, there really isn't anything big here. So we're going to head down to the area where we heard the booms and the vocalizations last week and see what we can find down there. Okay, we're just on our way from the old gifting stump, and we're on the little path that I use. Goes up through this way when we leave the old gifting stump, and we found something here. This is, I mean, it's nothing big, but it's interesting. We've got this plant that's been pulled up out of the ground not very long ago. There's some of the dirt is still there. This isn't the spot where it was planted. If you look, there's grass and other things down here that was pulled out and broken off. I don't know what it is. It's dry inside. It's not real recent, but it's not real old, sometime in the last week. And then the rest of the plant is right here in a square shape with the stem in the middle. Very interesting, huh? And I have no idea what kind of plant this is. I'm very familiar with the plants in the area, and I don't recognize this. If you look around, you can see there's nothing else like it that's anywhere near here. And I've looked around, I can't find anywhere that it has been pulled up from right here, so I would imagine this was carried to this spot. Pretty cool, huh? So we're going to head on down and check out the area where the big booms came from. Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you? So you hear anything weird out here lately? No.
You guys get any recordings?
I did last week.
Yeah?
So I'm coming back to check out those areas and see if I can find any tracks. And yeah, got some really good vocalizations last week, wood knocks, and some really big booms.
Really?
Yeah, so...
Like clapping things together? Or?
Well, I'm thinking maybe it was hitting something like a stump or a rotten log, something that was solid and attached to the ground but kind of soft. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe some footprints to go with it.
What was all those people at your house the other day?
Oh, that was, yeah, we had just a squatchers gathering. We came up here. Oh, yeah, we sat right out here. We had two groups with radios. One went up that way, and then we came up this way, did a couple of vocalizations, and got a big whoop came back to us from out that way. Just
yeah,
one.
because I was at home a month ago, and I woke up in the middle of the night, heard something coming down the river.
Really?
And I was listening outside, and at first I thought it was an owl, but it was like a whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. And I was like, that's not an owl.
No. Another one that they do is they'll go from sounding like a normal owl to the hoo-wah, hoo-wah.
Yeah.
It always cracks me up because it reminds me of the Al Pacino movie, Son of a Woman.
Right.
Squirrel.
Squirrels.
I got
Now
you
you got me
nervous now.
listening,
Pay attention when you hear stuff out here because they'll mimic everything.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was the first time I've heard weird noises like that, and when I got up in the morning to go to work. I mean, I could see the ground was wet. I didn't see any prints, but you could tell that something big came out of the river right by the house between us and the greenhouse there. Just right out. Yeah.
Mind if I post you saying that?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm recording right now, so.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right, awesome. Cool. Yeah, what was it? Ty?
Mm-hmm.
A couple of weeks ago. Something woke her up that was out in the river.
Yeah.
Stomping around out there.
Yeah. And it didn't sound like elk at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard elk come up and down that river, and it was just way too loud.
Yeah.
And it didn't sound like there was anything behind it. It was just one. It sounded like somebody running down with big feet.
Wow, that's cool.
That's
big really
splashes,
cool.
like I was running down the river with my sneakers on or something.
Yeah, I've heard that before down just below the bridge. I was down there one night this last winter, and something on the other side jumped in. You heard the splash, and then splash, 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 like somebody was running along the beach.
Right.
Except the water through there is about 4 feet deep.
You couldn't, yeah, and I didn't hear hoof marks on the gravel like you usually do.
Yeah, Huh. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for telling me about it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anything else comes up, be sure you let me know.
I will.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. No, I've been watching some of the Bigfoot stuff on Netflix, and they talk about knocks and things like that, so I always listen for those when I'm out here to see if I get my encounter.
Well, you need to be out here about an hour before dark to a half an hour before dark. That seems to be the most active
I got
time.
a spot about
half
a mile away that I sit and just wait. There's a game trail right there.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if you don't see or hear something soon.
Yeah. And I hiked in right along the GMU on the trail, the Divide Trail.
Yeah.
And then I cut over into the woods a little bit. And it was thick. I mean, it was like this stuff. And then there was a couple little trees in between, and like 3-4 of them were all busted over. So we're looking around. So I sat down, and I was like, oh, this is a good spot, game trail coming across there. I sat and I was looking around, and I was like, why are these trees all busted?
Pretty weird, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you know there's nothing that fell on them, or there hasn't been a recent storm.
Right, I mean, they're trees like this, so there's no like big snows that acquired on them, you know, that snapped that tree. And, yeah. Cool.
She's kind of zeroed in on something over there now.
Stick falling or something.
Yeah. So how long ago was that you heard that down there?
It was only a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So that was about the same time that
probably about the same time Ty heard something.
Yeah. Yeah, she said it woke her up in the middle of the night. She had to go out and she could see something black moving around under the trees on the far side of the river.
Yeah.
But it was just too dark to make out what it was.
I think it was before that big rainstorm we had.
Yeah.
So there was a bunch of those humpies sitting right up underneath the water.
Oh, yeah.
And that hole across from my house.
Yeah, so that's what I figured. Oh, and she had this apple tree that had been grafted, so it was like a 5-way tree in a pot. And while we're standing there, she's telling me about this. She looks over, and the top of her apple tree, about so high, had been snapped off. And it was just hanging there. And you'd think if it was the elk had done something like that, they would have eaten the leaves, but all the leaves on it were intact. Yeah. 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 Pretty cool.
Yeah, I just remember waking up because I heard noise, and then I heard this whoop, whoop. I was like, what the hell is that? Maybe it's some owl I don't know about. I'm just going to go back to bed.
That's funny.